There were several superintendencies I applied for before Dooley and Valdosta City I didn't get. The door closed in my face several times. But you learn through life, rejection can be protection. You have to give back. I won't be here forever. Gentlemen, in my bracket, we're exiting, but there's a brand new group of talent. They need our support because I know what it feels like to have someone dismiss you.
Take a seat and let's dive into the education unknown. In the superintendent's chair with Dr. Anthony, where dreams unfold. Yeah.
Welcome to another episode of the Superintendent's Chair. I'm your host, Dr. Anton Anthony. The mission of this podcast is to preserve the stories, leadership lessons, and vision of educational leaders while giving communities the opportunity to hear directly from the people entrusted with leading our public schools. Today's conversation is especially meaningful to me. Today's guest isn't simply someone I research. He's someone I've had the privilege of serving alongside over the last 2 years. I've watched him lead with integrity, humility, excellence. I've watched him encourage fellow superintendents, advocate for students, consistently represent the very best of public education in Georgia. Today, he serves as the superintendent of Valdosta City Schools and is the current president of the Georgia School Superintendents Association. Dr. Lockhart, thank you for joining me. Welcome to the Superintendent's Chair, sir.
Thank you so much for having me, Dr. Anthony. I really appreciate the opportunity.
Over the last 2 years, I've watched you lead. I've actually saw you present one time when you were a superintendent in Dooley, just how you turned things around. I just watched you as a African-American male and just said, wow, I really want to be like that when I grow up.
Well, I do appreciate it. We learn from each other. And again, I've seen you do some things that really shows your servant leadership. So again, we all are growing together. Appreciate
Absolutely. It. So let's dive into the superintendent's chair. You had the opportunity to lead in 2 different school districts as the superintendent, but just walk us through your journey from classroom to school leadership, district administration to the superintendency. So tell us a little bit about who Dr. Lockhart is as a leader.
I am a 30-year educator. August the 3rd began my 30th year. I always start with August 3rd versus July 1st. So I look at when the students came back. So 30 years in the business this year. I started teaching in my hometown of Butler, Georgia, which is Taylor County. It's in middle Georgia. I was a middle and high school science math teacher. So I did that for a few years, decided I wanted to work on my master's at Georgia State. I moved up to Atlanta at that point. I went to DeKalb County School. So, big contrast between Taylor County and DeKalb County.
You didn't go to Fort Valley, did you?
I went to Fort Valley.
I knew I loved you. I didn't know why.
Okay. A fellow Wildcat. I live it. Class of 96.
All right.
That's right. So from there in DeKalb County, I was a teacher. I became an assistant principal while I was in DeKalb. I only spent 4.5 years in the classroom. I wish it were longer. I feel that the longer you stay in the classroom, the more equipped you are to move into leadership. But you have to go where God leads you. Anyway, I was in leadership as an assistant principal. So then I decided to go back to my hometown and I became an assistant principal for elementary middle school for 1 year before I became principal of an elementary school. It had a unique configuration. It was grades 3 through 6. Wow. We called it an upper elementary school. So in that particular school, it had a lot of challenges there. So we were able to help that school move to a higher level of performance. And that caught the attention of Bibb County. What happened is I became an assistant superintendent of student services in Bibb County. As you know, in our profession, there's often a lot of challenge, a lot of turbulence. It was one of those seasons for that particular community. So I decided to go ahead and find something else. I found myself in the new high school. So I was a high school principal at that time. The principalship at Upper Elementary School are probably the highlights of my career. But then I was there for a few years. From there, moved into the central office, did central office work for a number of years, maybe about 6 or so years before I ended up going to Dooley County. And I became superintendent in Dooley County in 2018. fabulous experience. I was there for 5 years until the opportunity came up to come to Valdosta, and here I am. I'm now entering into my 4th year here in Valdosta. It's been a great ride all throughout the journeys, learning, growing, transforming, evolving. But again, great opportunities. I've been incredibly blessed.
What are you most proud of being the superintendent in Valdosta City Schools? And what do you want people across Georgia beyond to know about Wildcat Nation?
Well, Valdosta City Schools is home to the Valdosta High School Wildcats, which is the winningest football program in the United States of America. We always want to say that.
In Georgia or the United States?
The United States. We are closing in on 1,000 wins. No high school has earned 1,000 wins. I want to say there are only like 2 universities that have earned 1,000 football wins. But within the next 2 to 3 years, we're on track to hit that magic number 1,000. So again, we're really proud of that, but we're much more than that.
No, but that's amazing. You said the country, like that is a huge feat.
We embrace that winning atmosphere with everything we do. So to answer your question, what do I love most about Valdosta City is the people, my students, the families, the faculty and staff. They have a good heart. They're human like everybody else, but pound for pound, these people love Valdosta. They love each other. They want to be successful. So they make my job here very easy because, again, they want to be the best they can be. Winning is the norm for Valdosta City School. If you put a challenge before them where they can become better, they're up for the challenge.
Even the football wins, because it still translates in the classroom. Because if you can win on the football field, you have to win in the classroom. You have to win in life. So I love that. I love that.
I was in a meeting today. I made a statement very much to what you just said. Our winning nature, it has to be everywhere because students' lives are at stake. We have to give it the very best every day. We get 180 opportunities in a year to be the very best versions of ourselves. That's what we're trying to do.
Let's go back, because you are most proud of the work in Taylor County and the upper elementary, the work that you did in school improvement. A lot of leaders, people that aspire to be a leader, they only know operation, but they really don't understand the school improvement work. What did the experiences in Taylor County do when you transform those schools? What do those experiences teach you about transforming schools, creating improvement that lasts? Because I'm pretty sure that you all are doing the work at Valdosta. You did it in Dooley. I know you're doing it now. Even if you have a top level school, it's still work to improve every day. So what do those experiences teach you?
That's true. So one thing that I would say, and it all, of course, starts with Taylor County. So at that particular time, we had a lot of students, special education students. We were trying to figure out how to best support them. So I became principal. This was in 2004. So you're talking 22 years ago. The things we know about school improvement today, they really didn't exist around that time, not in the fashion that they do now. A lot of this was very new. We were coming off of No Child Left Behind, AYP, Adequate Yearly Progress. So this was a new concept where we had to be held accountable for what was happening. So all of this was a new season for everybody. With that, we had to, first of all, we learned to rely on our RESAs, the State Department, build relationships with them. Years prior, relationships with the DOE in particular, it was more just a compliance type of relationship. It has transformed, fortunately, into a collaboration between RESAs and the State Department school systems where they're providing that ongoing support. So I learned so much from them. So going into what you just said about operations, when I was an assistant principal, discipline was the primary thing that I dealt with.
That's what, as a male, most men, if you're watching this, operation.
And I was over the buses. I was over ISS. So what was happening, now again, I was a science math teacher, could feel that I was losing some of myself. Some of my instructional skill set, but we have to do the operation.
Nothing wrong with it, but
nothing wrong with it. But you want to be versatile. Anyway, The State Department, they came in, they helped me dive into the work of instructional leadership. What leadership? Being an instructional leader, understanding that the principal is the primary instructional leader in today's age of accountability. There was a time that was not the case. But today, if you are a principal or aspiring to become a principal, you must know data. You must know school improvement strategies. You must understand what good instruction looks like. So all of those things are very critical. So I was trained in those skills. Just to go back to your question, what makes all of this work is the people. Come go. They evolve or they morph. Most valid, reliable programs, if you implement with fidelity, you're going to see good results. The work, however, is always going to be with the people. There have to be people who care about what they're doing, who take ownership, accountability for what they're doing. Don't look at this as someone else's problem. This is my problem. I have to fix it. When you get enough of those people together, you can start seeing results. I said enough. You won't get all. Okay, so I don't want to paint this rosy picture, but if you can inspire, motivate enough people to follow your vision, then you'll see change. So what happened, we created a blueprint, if you will, at Taylor County. When I became a principal a second time around, I said, let's see if I can replicate the same practices. Will I get similar results? We did.
Wow.
And that translated over to my time in Dooley. So we're working on that now. At the end of the day, it's all about people who truly want to make a difference. You know, since you're a Fort Valley alum, I know when I went through the teacher certification program, now I'm a little bit older, so I don't know how the program may have changed, but we had to write a philosophy of education. I remember having to write that philosophy of education. What you'll find, most people say, I want to make a difference. I want to make a difference. Well, when your schools are struggling, that statement can never be truer. If you're going to make a difference, you have to roll up your sleeves and do things that nobody else has been willing to do. It is not going to just happen by itself. Affluent school systems often have students who are prepared, equipped. They walk in, they sit in the desk, they're ready to learn. Students that are at risk, high poverty, a lot of other barriers in their life, they have to come, I say they have to come to school to be loved first, then to learn. But the supports have to be put into place. And it's not for the faint of heart. Everybody cannot do this. So again, it's a calling. But that's the part I think I enjoy the most about it. This is God's work. This is a mission. So again, I love when I'm surrounded by others who see it that way. That's how you turn the school around.
I'm always looking for, as a parent, as a father, I try to tell my son, I'm trying to give you the blueprint and cheat sheet. So you don't have to live life hard as like I'm doing. So I'm giving you the cheat sheet. So if any leaders are watching this is going to lead into my next question, because it seems like, Dr. Lockhart, you are the cheat sheet. So
I don't know about that, but
just picking your brain, just knowing, because the work that you duplicated in Taylor County, in Newton County, in Dooley County, you figured out something. I always, when I'm leading, I call it the system. Which once you create a system, you can duplicate it all for the rest of your life. You are the author of School Genetics. I appreciate you for leaving a legacy and writing the book, a blueprint for saving public schools. But what must leaders understand about the culture, systems, people, conditions that shape a successful school?
So thank you for reviving School Genetics in this conversation. So that book I wrote,
was this after Taylor County, Newton County?
This was after Taylor and Newton. I actually released it. It was August of 2015, a little over 10 years ago. What I talk about is that schools have a genetic code, just like human beings, organisms do. So again, they're going back to my science background. Biology from Fort Valley State. So anyway, we all have a genetic code, and you're born with that genetic code. It is what it is. You have to deal with the hand that you're dealt. So when you look at schools, be it here or across the nation, for various reasons, schools take the form that they have. It could be rezoning, it could be political factors, social factors, whatever the case. You have schools that have different types of population, even with our public schools. So what happens is you can often find schools that have a lot of students that, again, are ready to learn, a large pockets of them. Conversely, you can find students that have a lot of barriers when it comes to learning. Not their fault. It is what it is. This is the neighborhood they're in. This is what the school is zoned for. And you get a collection of students all together. That's the genetics of that particular building. You can look at over generations where neighborhoods shift, where they change a school that once had good genetics that was able to perform. It can transform overnight, start having struggles, challenges with academic performance, challenges with behaviors, challenges with attendance, so many other issues. So I call those the makeup of the school or the school genetics. And the fundamental question that I asked myself in writing the book was, what is a good school? You always hear people talking about, I want to go to a good school. I rarely have heard people honestly express what that is to them. The way I decided to quantify this was just saying that schools have different genetic codes. So with that, if you want, first of all, you have to understand, be honest with yourself with the challenges that are there. You have to diagnose you were doing a medical setting. You have to diagnose what's going on. Then you have to put a treatment plan in place in order to help. The treatment plan has to be individualized for every student. In special education, we talk about individualized education plans. Every child in your school has to have some plan, even for those who are gifted, highly talented. We want to take them to another level. So every student so what we had to do, going back to my Taylor County time, we had about 600 students in that building. We realized every student had to have their own plan for success. What we did, I'll never forget it, because at that time we were in our 6th year of needs improvement status. We were the lowest performing in 2006 of all elementary schools in the state of Georgia. So naturally, I was highly motivated to change that. I actually met with every student. I sat them outside of the classroom one at a time. I went over their goals with them. It took me several weeks, but my assistant principals ran the school while I sat with every single student. Talked over, I said, baby, this is where you are. This is where I need you to be. It made an impact on the students because they don't get a chance to spend that kind of time with their principals. You think about your experience with your principals growing up. You saw them from a distance.
They talked to my principals before.
Right. We were scared of principals. Back when we came up, that was different. It was an impact for them to have that one-on-one time. Now, when I moved to Newton, that had 1,800 students, so it was too massive for me to be able to do, but we did much of the same work. When we went to Dooley at that time had about 1,100 students, somewhere around there now, so we split up the work. With that, we make sure that we give those students their individualized attention to do what we need to do. Pulling back from the technical side of the work. In order to do that, we have to have people who truly believe that our students can succeed. You have to have that. If you have the right team of people, enough of the right people, you can move mountains.
Valdosta City Schools emphasizes vision, values, victory, with village serving as the critical 4th V. How do those 4 ideas work together to improve and
So the first thing I want to share is that the concept of vision, values, victory, that came up when I was getting ready to enter Valdosta City Schools. I've learned a long time ago, you have to brand, okay? Yes. You have to give and organization and identity. Our major Fortune 500 companies, they learned this a long time ago. You can look at any major company, Coca-Cola, Walmart, McDonald's. It goes on. They usually have a slogan or a tagline, something
it's a part of their DNA. It started being a part of them.
It's part of the DNA. There you go. Thank you. It ties right back. I might have to write School Genetic 2.0. You have to be my co-author on this thing. I tell you. We got. You have to do the foreword.
I'll do the foreword. Done.
So, but with that, you have to create a brand. That's where it came from. After looking at performance overall, and with all of that, you need the families to be engaged in it as well. So that led to our strategic plan, and we created a strategic plan for 2025 that sunsets in 2030. Thing I would say about the strategic planning process: this is not. It shouldn't be just a compliance measure. So when I first learned about strategic plans, I looked at it as something that you had to do to satisfy a DOE mandate. You had to do it in order to satisfy accreditation needs. And it was something that was put on a shelf. You have to make the strategic plan a living, breathing document of what you do every day. So with that, the key phrase I would want us to take away from all of this is follow through. The strategic plan, you write it, you then have to execute. You have to follow through to do what you said you were going to do. If you have the strategic plan right in front of you, it's a lot easier to do. I'm sitting right now, right behind this camera. My strategic plan is sitting right there looking at me. So it's called the strategy map, that one pager, because I don't ever need to forget what it is that I need to do. In leadership, this is in every aspect, from teacher leaders all the way up to the superintendent. You come to work with the best of intentions. You have your to-do list of 3 to 5 things you plan to do that day. Then life gets in the way. Okay, life is going to get in the way. You're going to be pulled away from what it is you wanted to do. But that's why you have to keep that strategic plan in front of you all the time. Your team has to know that that's the number one priority. If you can follow through, execute the things that you promised yourself that you were going to do on behalf of children, you can get there. Not get all the way there, but if you don't commit and follow through, you're going to find yourself somewhere you don't want to be. I've seen many superintendents over my time. So I've served under several superintendents. All of my superintendents, they were great. I never had a bad superintendent. I'm blessed with that.
Not me.
Say you have some learned experience. Well, so that's the thing. I'm fortunate. I had some great people I learned from, but of those people, they start one way. So, for example, you come into the superintendency, and we have a lot of colleagues. You can tell what their strength is. So a board will hire you for a particular skill set. So, for example, I know people who actually started out. They were really good with finances, but they left being known for facilities. Okay, or people who started out as an instructional leader, but they left being known for what they did in technology. So you became that type of superintendent. I always wanted to make sure that I walked in as an instructional superintendent, that when I leave as an instructional superintendent. That's what's most important to me. Everybody's value systems are different for justifiable reasons. But you don't want to lose who you are in this particular journey, because everybody's pulling at you. They want you to do what they need you to do.
Right then.
But right now. Okay. So you have to make a conscious decision to be who you want to be. For me, plan helps me stay grounded, stay focused on the work that I need to do. But if you put them all together, we're able to work on student achievement.
I mean, they really tie together, just having vision, value. What do you value in your vision? Then victory. Of course, everything should be victory in Valdosta with the winning this football program. And in the village, everybody working together from the families. I understand it. I've been part of your school genetics. I just want to glean from you, and I want you to leave some tidbits to not only to older generation, but to the young generation. After you're gone, you have 30 years in the game, sir. It's just your 30th year of education. I don't know how many years you have, maybe another 20 or 30, but at the end of the day, we know at 40 years from now, somebody's going to be watching it. I want them to be inspired just from this story. But what would you say to the young male teacher, assistant principal, or principal who can lead, but may not yet see himself sitting in the superintendent's chair?
That's an excellent question, Doc. If you don't mind, I want to set the stage with a little story here. So when it comes to my journey from year one, pretty much up until my first superintendent in 2018. So I started in 1997. From 97 to 2018, I really did not have any Black male mentors. The mentors I had were white males, white female, one Black female. In particular, when you know who your circle of five is, or like if you on your phone, your top five. You know, if you were to call out right now, who were your mentors rapid fire right now? If I call out the top five, right, either white male, white female, or Black female. That I don't know why that is. I think it was largely because of where I worked. I think that also was because there were not as many as there are now. There just simply weren't. So anyway, when I got into the superintendency, I was able to definitely network, meet other African-American superintendents. Moved on. Back to my story, I distinctly remember I was at Taylor County Upper Elementary. I was a principal. My wife, due to the fact that she was from another state. At one particular season, we were vacating to another state. With that, I just so happened to know an African American who I met while I was working in a previous job. He's superintendent of a major school system in this particular state. I reached out to him to see if he had any job openings in leadership at that particular time. I sent him an email, introduced myself. I'll never forget, he wrote back, "Please don't email me at my work email." And when I look at the people who've opened the doors for me, in the early times, they didn't look like me. The folks who supported me, they were different. I'll even go back just to tell another quick story. My very first day of teaching, very first time ever, I'm standing outside in the hallway on hall duty. My superintendent, white male, had known him for many years. He came, he just stood right beside me. He didn't say anything, but that was his way of letting me know that he was there to support me. That's the support I've seen. I didn't see it from gentlemen who look like me. When I got that email, I made a commitment to myself. I would never do that to any other person. No, Black males in particular, of course, but anybody who asks for my mentorship, my time, if I can provide it, I'm going to do so. Because I know what it feels like to have someone dismiss you. With that, I just kept moving forward, trying to connect, build relationships, always trying to put a smile on my face, trying to make sure that people felt seen, that they felt heard, that they felt welcome in my presence. I love, being from Fort Valley State, we love a good party.
We love a good party.
One thing that you learn, so let's take homecoming, for example. Something that we know about Fort Valley homecoming is the Christmas of, we always go back. We go back year after year after year. Want people to want to come back. When you have a party, the party's over, you want them to say, "I want to come back." That's what I do my dead level best. I'm not always perfect with it, but I want to make sure that any young Black male that wants to get to know me, they get that opportunity, and that they have my number. If they have a question, they need to reach out, that I'm available for them. You have to give back. Like you said, I won't be here forever. Gentlemen, in my bracket, we're exiting, but there's a brand new group of talent. They need our support. What I would tell them, a couple of things I would tell the young African-American males today who are in education, trying to figure out what the next steps are. One thing would be indispensable. Be the person who will do what nobody else is willing to do. Be somebody who is valued in that way. The second thing I would say is always improve yourself. Don't settle. Get the highest degree in the land. Educate yourself to the fullest extent. The final thing I would say is do not covet a position. I've seen so many times, especially in our younger generation, this is no disrespect to them. It's the way they were brought up. I was brought up with a stove. They were brought up with a microwave. So they're used to things happening quickly. So they'll go into an interview to become a teacher. They're already ready to become a superintendent. Learn what to do where you are. Stay focused on being the very best in the place you are, and the blessing will come on its own. The doors will open. If you're doing the right work, the doors will open. But if you covet, and I know I'm talking to a pastor here, you covet, things never go right. That will just start getting further away, because if you're focused too much on tomorrow, you're probably not focused on today. You've got to stay focused on today. You take care of today, tomorrow will take care of you.
Please remember that if you don't remember anything from this interview today, if you can truly understand to be indispensable, do the things that no one else will. Improve yourself and don't covet the position. If it's your time, it is your time. Don't worry about someone else's position as well. It'll come to you.
To that point, Dr. Anthony, I've applied. When people think of superintendent, so they look at you.
Yes,
they're like, oh my gosh, Dr. Anthony, he just had the role clean, easy. He was. They also think that you're perfect. Okay, the only way you could have gotten this job was to be perfect. You never made a mistake. You never said a bad word. You never drank something you shouldn't have drank. You had to be perfect to become a superintendent. There were several superintendencies I applied for before Dooley and Valdosta City. I didn't get. The door closed in my face several times. But you learn through life, rejection can be protection. Okay? You don't need to get something because it's somebody else's blessing. When somebody else, other jobs that I wanted, there were other African-American males who got the jobs that I wanted. I had a choice. I could be bitter, or I could go up there and cheer for them in their season. So sometimes that's what you have to do. You have to cheer for the person who got what you think was your blessing. Cheer for them until your time comes. And that's extremely important as well. Life is too short to go just be bitter, frustrated about the challenges that are there. Everybody is going to have challenges. It doesn't matter what the role is, but part of being a champion means getting in the game. Sometimes you lose. That's okay. Thank God for the closed doors, or the doors that don't open. There was a reason why it didn't open. You don't know it, but there was a reason why that door didn't open, and you just need to thank God for that. Be the best in the space that you're in.
Now, Superintendent, this is a part of the show where we ask 5 questions, 5 quick answers. You are now in the chair.
All right, you have 5 seconds to answer these questions. Don't think too long. Here we go. The first question: which one do you prefer, beach or mountains?
Beach.
One word that describes your leadership.
Passionate.
One word that describes your district.
Winning.
One quality every superintendent must possess.
Listening.
One thing people may be surprised to learn about you.
I love wrestling, WWE wrestling. I am tuned in every Monday, every pay-per-view. I love it. I live for it.
Y'all don't have board meetings on Monday night, I bet you.
Oh, no. If we did, we have to change it.
That's a good one. All right, good deal. Every superintendent who takes a seat in the superintendent's chair receives this same final question. So looking back over your career, what is one decision that truly tested you as a leader? What did that experience teach you?
So I'm entering into my 9th year as a superintendent. I have many stories that I can tell, trying to narrow down to one is kind of difficult. But what I would say, when I think about things that bother me, I'm always bothered with personnel having to tell someone that they no longer are a good fit for the school system. That actually hurts me as a person to have to do that, because quite frankly, I just care about people. But when I look at personnel, I would say this: I'm charged to take care of students, to take care of an organization. No matter how much I love an individual employee, I love the students and the school more. I have to. That's the charge that the local Board of Education gave me. That's the charge that the State Board of Education gives. That's the charge that God has given me. So I have to look back to see, okay, is this good for students? Is this good for the folks who are supporting my students? What do I need to do? You just have to do what you have to have the courage to do the job. People don't talk about courage enough. Everybody, there are Monday morning quarterbacks who talk about how they would fire somebody. Well, it's not as easy as you think to just fire somebody. There's some blowback that comes behind it, okay? And it can tie you up. So you want to make sure you're doing the best for everybody, but having the courage to move on when it's time to have a necessary ending. Sometimes you have to have them, but if you know that's for the benefit of the greater good, then you can rest easy at night. And that's what I have to tell myself, that I'm doing the right thing for the entire organization.
Sir, I appreciate you. Dr. Lockhart, thank you so much for your friendship. Thank you so much for your leadership, your ability to be a mentor. Thank you for your example you set for students, educators, fellow superintendents throughout the state of Georgia. It has truly been an honor serving alongside you. It's an even greater honor to help share this story, your story. So thank you for taking the time, and thank you for taking a seat in the superintendent's chair. If you have really enjoyed this, for everyone that's watching, if you enjoyed today's conversation, be sure to subscribe on YouTube and follow us on Spotify, so you'll never miss an opportunity to learn from Georgia's educational leaders. Leadership isn't about the chair you sit in. It's about the lives you live when you're sitting in it. I'm Dr. Anthony, and we'll see you next time on the Superintendent's Chair.